Good evening, everyone. Thank you for attending, both virtually and live, and welcome to Thursday's October 19th regular board agenda for the Pottstown School District Board of Directors. I would like to open the meeting by doing a roll call, please.
Armato,
Here.
Bearden,
Here.
Heidel,
Here.
Hilton, Kancianic,
Here.
Johnson,
Here.
Klein,
Here.
Lawrence,
Here.
Spence. 7 present, 2 absent. We have a quorum.
Thank you. Have a moment of silence, please. And the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We now have an executive session that we will be leaving for the purposes of litigation. We will promptly return to the room and continue with presentation. Thank you. Thank you very much for your patience. We'll move forward with our presentation. First is the oath of office for our student board representatives. We have Judge Palladino, as always, to swear in our student board reps. We have Imani Galloway, and we have Tashi Phillips, our alternate junior. So let's give them a hand first.
Someone who hold that.
No.
Okay. Well, I can do it. Yeah, this is right here. You're gonna face this way? Okay. It's so that they can see her.
Oh, okay.
I, Imani Galloway,
I, Imani Galloway,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
or affirm
or affirm
that I will support, obey, and defend
that I will support, obey, and defend
the Constitution of the United States of America
the Constitution of the United States of America
and the Constitution of the Commonwealth,
and the Constitution of the Commonwealth,
and I will discharge the duties
and I will discharge the duties
of my office with fidelity.
of my office with fidelity.
Congratulations. You know that folder.
Yeah. Picture one.
Oh, okay. No, no, take a picture.
Here we go. Imani, would you please join us at the table?
Yes.
Who is holding it? Great in reading.
I, Todd Phillips,
I, Todd Phillips,
do solemnly swear and affirm,
do solemnly swear and affirm
that I will support, obey, and defend
that I will support, obey, and defend
the Constitution of the United States of America
the Constitution of the United States of America
and the Constitution of this Commonwealth.
and the Constitution of this Commonwealth,
And I will discharge the duties of my office
and I will discharge the duties of my office
with fidelity.
with
Fidelity.
fidelity.
Congratulations.
You can probably do it for me, so I'm not used to I am, so, yeah. No, it's not. It is. I assume it's happening there. But I heard of it. Like, it doesn't have any.
Judge Palladino, thank you.
Good night.
Thank you. Have a good night. There will be so many opportunities. Thank you so much. So we're going to move right along into the next presentation. And so that would be me. My apologies, I had something for the board and it's not up. So it's just related to what the board knows and what some may be hearing for the first time. There is a new challenge called Impact 2023 that was offered as an opportunity for the Foundation for Pottstown Education to secure a $10,000 donation. And that we call it Impact. It was formerly called the Amazing Race and Raise, and it began some years ago. It started officially October 1st, and it runs through the end of October for us. So it's a normal campaign that the proceeds actually are benefited. Our students, our district, but also our community, parents, not necessarily parents, just persons. The foundation has supported our residents in times of need, disaster and crisis, as well as the positives. And our students, our staff, our district as a whole directly benefit from these donations, some private, some public. But this particular race and is called Impact 2023, was from one private donor, and it has stipulations in order for the foundation to obtain this $10,000 donation. And those stipulations are 100% of the Foundation for Pottstown Education has to donate, 100% of their membership. 100% of the Pottstown School Board of Directors has to participate. 100 employees of the Pottstown School District have to donate, and 75 Pottstown High School alumni must donate. At the point of those stipulations being granted, the donation of $10,000 would be awarded to the foundation. To note, the foundation isn't often known for what they do, right? So some field trips, science organizations, STEM things, nursing programs, all sorts of opportunities for students to go to college, including our dual enrollment. All of this is funded through the Foundation for Pottstown Education. In addition, staff needs, district needs that we simply can't find another way to come up with those funds. The foundation and their donations and donors, again, some private, some public, support these items and opportunities. But as a community, we directly benefit, and it helps to set our students up for success. So I would ask that you go online to the Foundation for Pottstown Education, click to support if there's any alumni that are watching. If they're not watching, anyone, any graduate, you count as an alumnus member if you tag that you graduated from Pottstown. Outside of that, we need our board 100%. We need our staff also for that count. And you can also go on our website, the Pottstown School District website, to go ahead and join in and collectively donate. Again, this doesn't benefit one individual. This benefits our collective community. So if you would please just, we have a deadline, and it's the end of October 2023. It runs for 1 month, and we are close. We are at the 19th. So please, if you could, this is my pitch, and I will continue via email, as does Mr. Joe Rusevich, who is the executive director for the education, Pottstown Foundation for Education. I always call it that, Foundation for Pottstown Education, FPE. But also then Georgette Howell, Leticia Santiago, who's also an alumni. Please, I thank them, and I thank all of the donors who have donated thus far. Please encourage everyone and make that push. Okay, so moving right along, could I have the minutes from Ms. Sophie, please?
Yes, thank you, Madam President. I would like to present the minutes from the regular board meeting held on September 21st, 2023.
Thank you. Could I have the list of bills and treasurer's report from Mrs. Johnson?
Madam President, I would like to submit the list of bills paid from the various funds for the period of September 2023 as presented, and the treasurer's report from the period of September 2023 as presented.
Thank you. Good, now we move on to the committee reports. Could I have Mr. Klein with Policy and Personnel?
Thank you, Madam President. The Policy and Personnel Committee met October 5th. We recommended 3 policies to come forward tonight to the meeting of the whole. 2 of those are new policies. 1 is just a change with some revision of a current policy. We also, in the personnel section, bringing to the board tonight, department chair from the nursing department and a building substitute in Edgewood Learning Center. Our next meeting will be November 2nd.
Great. Thank you very much, Mrs. Lawrence, for curriculum and co-curricular, please.
Yes, we met the same night and we had 2 presentations. One was Mr. Jeffries, who gave us an update on special ed. Some of the highlights were the addition of a special ed consultant at Edgewood Learning Center. Also the Paraeducators Pathway Grant from MCIU, which is helping to fund some paraprofessionals to work towards their associate degree. Also some more with building transition plans for students with IEPs who are 14 years and over for their life after school. And then, of course, the gifted screener that we had talked about, and I think we approved that last time. So those are some of the things. There's a few more in the minutes. And then we had a very short presentation from Ms. Knowles from the high school English department or language arts department. They're suggesting us to approve 2 novels. One is called A Long Way Gone and the other one is Long Way Down. And those would be for, I believe it was freshmen and sophomores, but I'm not exactly sure. But they're all high school. So that should be on our agenda again for tonight to approve those 2. I think that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Then we have facilities and finance, Mr. Hilton, please.
Good. And that on an old fashioned paper. So the high school sewer line that we put in, turns out it has a few problems. And so we're gonna have to go back this summer and fix those problems. And the middle school fire alarm panel, that's gonna be replaced during the holiday break. And the underground wiring for the field lighting at the high school auxiliary field for the band, that's deteriorated, and we'll get a quote on how much that's gonna cost. And at the North End Early Learning Center, the playground is complete.
Yeah, they played today.
Complete today. And some old equipment is gonna be moved to the pre-K classroom in the courtyard, I think, of the high school. And then we received a nice diagram showing us where the various fields are, together with a nice list about how much it's gonna cost to do everything you like to do, which is around $10 million. And maybe 3 million from ESSER and the rest from our capital improvement fund. And then we are going to vote tonight to approve, I assume, since it's a consent, spending $25,000 to do a further survey by ELA to determine exactly what we're going to have to do to make the field improvements. And then finance, there are a number of contracts, and they're all, you can read them as well as I can, that we will be approving tonight. And that's my bit.
Thank you very much, Mr. Hilton. And Mrs. Johnson with Public Relations Community Engagements and also Montgomery County Legislature.
So at our community engagement meeting, we had 2 guest presentations, one from Mr. Klaus from the Elks Club. It was a drug awareness program that they're promoting, basically allowing kids of different ages to submit projects that range from posters to essays to videos. So that sounded like a really neat program. We also had a presentation from the Foundation for Pottstown Education, further discussing what Madam President reported out about the impact campaign, where that money goes, and that sort of thing. I won't rehash all of that, but that's very important. Yeah, very important campaign. So hoping that they reach their full $10,000 goal. We discussed behavior at after school events, looking to get community feedback on how to navigate some of those issues, just to make sure that our after school events are safe for all the students and the spectators. Mr. Rodriguez also went over several updates. The Chromebook responsibility agreement, which about 70% of parents have signed, and just kind of reviewed the insurance program for that and our policy. If you break it, you buy it. There's a safe arrival update for managing attendance for students and how we follow up on that. And then we had a community engagement slideshow, which Mr. Armato helped guide us through all the different things happening in the district at many schools where we have a lot of really engaged parents showing up for events of all sorts. And then we spoke just a little bit on advocacy, the Power Interfaith event, as well as the Basic Education Funding Commission. And, just encouraging everybody to keep the advocacy up for full and fair funding. The Montgomery County School District School Director Legislative Committee, we had that meeting this month. We went over different legislation that's upcoming, including the Act 1 Index, the state budget, which is still not really truly finalized, and other legislation. And we're just trying to work out new format and schedule now that structure has changed up. Great, that's all I have.
Thank you very much. Moving right along, because we have the PSBA report from our representative, Mrs. Canciano.
Yes, the school leadership conference was the 16th and 17th. The Pottstown High School was represented by 2 woodwind ensembles, and they did great. The PSBA would like to remind us that there are in-person and virtual required trainings online. Newly elected and appointed directors need 5 hours, and returning directors need 3. GreatPASchools.com is now live. It is where you can go and see positive or great aspiring stories about Pottstown School, or not Pottstown, Pennsylvania schools. And it has like community involvement, resilience, financial stuff. Anyway, it's a great place to go and find good stories. But that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. And also to add, Mr. Rodriguez presented at the PSBA conference that we recently had. And Dr. Tannehill was there and presented. I missed him, but Mr. Rodriguez was able to see him. And he did wonderfully. He's quite supported there. Moving right along, Mrs. Lawrence with the NCIU.
Yeah, I have a couple of things. Unfortunately, I'm having technical difficulties and I did this and I didn't catch all of this live, but at least I got some of it from the minutes. So I think the couple of things that I found that were really interesting. One was that the NCIU was awarded a $3.5 million 5-year grant supporting the PA Gifted Equity Initiative. And since we've been talking about our gifted screeners, and I know at some point down the line, my curriculum committee wants to talk about that curriculum. So I'm hoping that that might be very important for us. Also, the MCIU had been sort of monitoring or sort of been in charge of 2 school districts in the state, Harrisburg and Chester Upland, and they've now transitioned them into them managing themselves. So that's a good thing. And also they were reminding about the Monte Carlo Casino Night, which is the fundraiser for the MCIU Educational Fund, which is November. So in case anyone wants any info, it's on their website. I think that's it.
Good, thank you very much. And on to our student board rep committee report, please. Jump right in there.
So, the musical Beauty and the Beast took place in the high school auditorium on October 7th and the 8th. Over 100 students were casted from grades 4th to 12th, and the following are just a few of many students that are going to be in the musical. We have Jonathan Moser, Josephine Bethel, Jaden Bell, Trevor Marley, Aiden Kanasiak, Ashley Landon, Ethan Yost, Tyler Broughton, Bat Endy, and Michaela Smith. This year's musical is going to mark the 10th year anniversary of the musical, and it's so sad that they're going all out. We have our homecoming football game tomorrow, the 20th, and we also have our pep rally. Our Spirit Week has been going on from the 16th to the 20th. The first homecoming dance in a long time will be on the 21st Saturday. We have had a lot of senior night for fall sport. Over 50 seniors were recognized at their senior recognition. There's a new program called Exact Pad. It helps students improve their schoolwork, and students are earning trophies for their work and dedication. Starting with Blooper Elementary, the 3rd graders went to the YMCA for the Safety Around the World program. on the 2nd of October. On the 4th, they had an all-school assembly where all the students watched a play about electricity called Kilowatt Kitchen. It's a very fun and interactive site where they learn how energy is wasted and how we can conserve it. On the 6th, they had their picture day, and on the 11th, they had a Phillies day to support the Phillies game on the 7th and the 9th. On the 13th was the Impact Home Visits. This week, starting from the 16th to the 22nd, they have their Homecoming Spirit Week, which included grandparent/grandfriend bingo night on the 16th. And they also had a pre-K trip to the Mary Maid Farm. And their trunk or treat is gonna be on the 26th.
Now, moving on to Franklin Elementary, there is a lot of things going on in the elementary as you can see this month. On the 25th to the 29th was the attendance per week. On the 4th of October was the National Walk to School Day. The 6th was the Franklin Spirit Day, which was Disney Day. And the 10th was the Fall Picture Day and also Friends of Franklin, PTA. The 13th was Franklin Spirit Day. Students wore green to support the World Mental Health Day. During the entire month of October, students will be bringing in change for nonprofit pet rescue called, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. They're going to be bringing in change for a nonprofit pet rescue called Charlie's Crusaders. The homeroom that collects the most change will receive a pizza party. Now Lincoln, on the 25th of September is Lincoln's McDonald's night. The 4th was the walk to school day. The 11th was a spirit day where they had to wear red or a Phillies gear. Tomorrow, the 20th, they are going to have a grandparents day and book fair. And the 25th is the trunk or treat. Now moving on to Barth. I know there's a lot for the elementary school. In Barth, there are multiple different activities that they are going to put in place that students can really do to get them involved in school. So they have a activity that's called PBIS, and in that PBIS, it includes the Student of the Month, where students are chosen, and they get a lot of swag if, like, you get chosen, and it really makes them stand out like a celebrity. So it encourages them to, oh yeah, I want to be Student of the Month too. And they also have the Quality Club, which is an event that is run by teachers where students can track their points to see how many points they have. And if they have a lot of points, they can do like camp out in the auditorium, or they can, go out and do something with the leaves. And the third thing for the PBIS is the attendance challenge. Every 3 months, students will get more attendance. Students with more attendance will get a pizza party or an ice cream party. And I believe if you have like more than 3 months, like if you have a perfect attendance, like you, at the end of the year, you get something even more. And now they have after school programs that really helps the students with homeworks and in general, obviously. And there is the Greater Pottstown Tennis that teaches students tennis. And I believe it also teaches them with like mental health and really checking up on them. And there is also the Cub Scouts, which is an after school program. And lastly, there's tutoring that the First Presbyterian Church helps them every Monday. And that concludes our lengthy report for today. Thank you.
Thank you. Our elementaries are doing quite a lot. So
Yes.
thank you very much for that report, as well as our middle and high school. Wonderful to see them here about their spirit weeks as well. Moving on to reporting the superintendent, please.
Thank you, Madam President. Ladies and gentlemen of the board, I would like to present for your consideration consent topics number 9 through 19. And as we usually do, we'll walk through them one by one, starting with our personnel items. Mr. Boyd.
Thank you, Mr. Rodriguez. Good evening, school board members. For 9.1 positions, we're recommending 2 positions for your approval, department chair for the nursing department and a building substitute for the Edgewood Learning Center. 10.1 resignations and terminations. We have 2 professional, 1 exempt and 2 classified. 11.1 leaves. We have 5 professional leaves, 4 exempt and 2 classified. 12.1, change in position, the salary, we have 1 recommended for approval. 13.1, elections, we have 1 professional election, 1 exempt and 4 classified. 13.2, co-curricular, you'll see in the file attachment, the updated co-curricular assignments for the fall. 14.1, field trips, we have 1 for your approval. 15.1, horizontal movements, you'll see in the file attachment, the staff that are recommended for horizontal salary move. 16.1, tuition reimbursement, in the file attachment, you'll see the staff recommended for tuition reimbursement. 17.1, professional leaves. In the file attachment, you'll see the staff recommended for approval of professional leaves, and we have 13 of those. 18.1, policy, we have 3 policies recommended for your approval. Policy 216.1, supplemental discipline records. Policy 830.1, data governance, and policy 103.2, non-discrimination based on sex. And that concludes my report.
Good evening, board members. Tonight for your consideration, we have a number of contracts, 3 special education tuition agreements. We have an after-school program rental for the YMCA, contracted services through assessment alternatives, 7 MOUs for our grant-funded after-school 21st century program, dental screening through Community Health and Dental, Advanced Protection Company for contracted services, and the field study additional surveys through the ELA group. And that concludes the consent items this evening, Madam President.
Thank you. Do we have anyone signed in for hearings from the patrons on general and consent?
Not at this time, Ms. Bearden.
Thank you. Anyone signed in here publicly?
I did say anybody on my time.
Okay, thank you so much. So then I will be seeking board action on the minutes, list of bills, and treasurer's report. Could I have a motion to accept?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Any opposed? Thank you. Board action on consent items 9 through 19. Could I have a motion to accept?
So moved. Second.
Roll call vote, please.
Kassianic,
Aye.
Armato,
Aye.
Klein,
Aye.
Lawrence,
Aye.
Spence,
Yes.
Johnson.
Aye.
Hilton,
Aye.
Heidel,
Aye.
Bearden.
Aye.
9 ayes, motion carried.
Thank you. We do not have any non-consent items. So we will move on to unfinished business. We don't have any listed. Old business. Don't see any listed, but I'm going to make mention. New business. None mentioned and none listed. Information items, please.
Yes, Madam President, ladies and gentlemen of the board, on the agenda this evening is a list of teachers who have reached tenure. So this is often not understood, and I'd like to take just a moment to let members of the public as well as remind you in case you don't remember. So essentially, in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, when a teacher becomes a teacher, he or she must complete certain requirements, 24 graduate credits, as well as 3 years of continuous service within a school district where they are rated or evaluated satisfactory at least 6 times in a row. Once they have met that burden as a matter of law on the anniversary date, they get tenure. If they fail to meet that burden for one reason or another, because they transfer from one district to another, or they fail to receive a fully satisfactory evaluation, then the clock starts over for them. But when they receive tenure, we put it on the agenda for recognition so that they understand that they have it and we have a record of their accomplishment. Any questions? Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you.
Attached is the monthly meeting notice for November.
Thank you. Federation remarks.
That would be me this time. Everybody else is busy. Hello, everybody. Don't have a whole lot to say. Off to a good start this school year. The fall sports are almost over. Have to give a shout out to my volleyball girls. We have a JV win under our belt and a varsity win under our belt. A big party tomorrow if you want to stop by after school in culinary. I really want to give a shout out to our band as well. You know, they're out there every single night in the dark, under the lights, after they have been in school all day. Some of them might not have even gone home to eat dinner, just so that they can really enjoy music, which brings me to my last point. The Federation, again, really wants to push for music at the middle school, general music at the middle school. It's super important, not just for the students, but for the students' mental health. And when and if the board is able to find any money to put a general music teacher in the middle school, it would be very much appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on now to roundtable. We will start with Ms. Spence. Nothing. Mrs. Canciano.
I'm never ready. The middle school, I forget. The middle school had a paint with a special person day, earlier this week. It was lovely. My older child is too cool for that, but my sixth grader loved it. I loved it. Next month, they're doing a spaghetti dinner or pasta dinner or something or another. And I think that's great, a great way to get families into the buildings and to see them interact with their peers and with their teachers, and you get to meet teachers that you know normally wouldn't even see. So I encourage the community to do those. I'm so excited for the musical. The band is doing great. And I think all around, there's a lot of stuff going on. So come out and have fun.
Great.
Go Bills.
Nothing tonight.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Idle. Mr. Amato.
Thank you. As Coach Yoder pointed out, the other night, our girls volleyball team won their first ever varsity competition. And that's a great accomplishment. And if, if they win another 100 matches in a row, that would be a great accomplishment. However, that's not nearly as important as what's happening to those young ladies that are part of that team. The things that they are learning about teamwork, about self-discipline, about setting goals, those are the important things. And I've had opportunity to watch this team particularly over the past 2 years. And if you want to see excellent representatives of our school and our community, these young ladies are it. And the things that they are learning far exceed any athletic accomplishment that they might have. And I would venture a guess, I haven't done the research, but I would venture a guess that if we looked at the attendance record, the academic record, and the discipline record of those young ladies, we will see that they far exceed the general population of students. So they are doing an outstanding job, and obviously that has a great deal to do with the influence of the coaches. So thank you very much. The other item that we touched upon a little bit here already. Last year, the board indicated to the superintendent that we needed to find ways to engage the community. And as any good leader, he shared that message with the principals, the building principals, and kind of gave them their leeway to develop ways of interacting and engaging the community. And needless to say, I'm a big fan of person to person, in person. I think that's where relationships are built, that's where things are learned, and that's where bonds are made that will lead us to success. And the building principals took the advice of Mr. Rodriguez, and they have been doing a heck of a job of coming up with all sorts of ways to bring community members, family members, and other community members into their buildings, so that one, those parents, family members, community members can see what is going on in our buildings. And secondly, so teachers and administrators can have face-to-face, in-person interaction with community members, which, to my way of thinking, is as valuable as it can be valuable as we talk about success, whether it's academic success, whether it's attendance success, whether it's discipline success. All of those things are affected by the relationships that are built. And I'll throw in my plug. Those relationships are not built on a computer. They're built in a room where people are facing one another face to face and talking with one another face to face. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Amato. Mr. Hill.
Nothing, thank you.
Thank you.
Just two quick things. I wanted to congratulate our two new students. I'm always happy to have new students here. And also just to comment quickly on Mrs. Yoder, I agree with you 100% about music. It's on my radar. I brought it up more than once too. So it's still there. We'll keep at it. Thank you.
As I sit here in a Philly shirt, I'm gonna piggyback off what Mr. Romano just said. Mr. Romano, I believe you said, not only would the volleyball attendance, discipline, and academic exceed the average population, but research has shown that individually, their personal academics, attendance, and discipline records go up also in season. So, yes.
Thank you. Ms. Johnson.
The only thing I was gonna say was also just to congratulate our new student board reps. Glad you guys are here and giving your time to serve this way.
Thank you. Mr. Rodriguez.
Thank you, Madam President. Both Taj and Imani did an excellent job in their interviews. I'm really happy to have them as a part of the team. Elizabeth will school you on all the things that you need to know, but we're here for you as well. Just a couple of things, and I don't want to be a meeting extender or get a tomato in my eye, so I'm going to go really fast. I'd like to personally thank our board president, Mrs. Bearden, for making the 2-hour trip up to the Poconos to watch our students perform in front of statewide leaders. I can't tell you, and I did let Mrs. Mess know, so many people came up to me and said, those Pottstown kids brought the house down. And in point of fact, they got 2 standing ovations, and it was a long night. So they were impressive. They had poise, and I was very, very proud. If you want to see the video, it's on Facebook, so you can go to my page. Wanted everyone to know that Power School is in full swing. It has been difficult to transition. We knew it would be difficult. We've got school report cards coming up, so I'm just going to apologize now. Things are going to be different. Stuff isn't going to be exactly the same as it always was, but we're going to get through it. And it's by second quarter, it'll be even better. But all in all, we're doing well. Safe arrival started this week. Again, issues and things to work through, but all in all, it is going to be a much more parent-friendly system. That is something we have been working on in this district for a decade. And I'm very pleased that it's happening. Finally, I just want to give a shout out for Hispanic heritage. Many of our teachers, as well as our students, embraced this time to celebrate culture. And it made me very proud to participate in some of the activities. Our students are doing well. Again, we're not problem-free. No school district is, but we have a lot to be proud of. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you. And I will try not to replicate anything that's been said, but middle school band is important. I was in the band. I've shared that. I've been in it since the fourth grade, clear through graduation of high school, and I played the flute. So I love band, and that is a lot of structure, right? It is. I can't speak on it enough on how it helps with mathematics, and really, they spend a good portion of their day with each other and don't go home until late at night. Band camp during the summer is just as lengthy as football camp, and it is hot. So they are very dedicated, and the directors are quite dedicated, but we know this helps with learning. That said, I would like to thank the band directors and Mrs. Mest for taking time to not only coach and guide the students along, they were poised. They were in a room with adults and leaders, and they held it together like you wouldn't believe, like didn't flinch. Mrs. Mest not only directed, but she played. Some students played multiple instruments. It was the selection of music was really wonderful. As I said, Mr. Rodriguez was there, and he there are so many who attend PSBA. Let me just say that. And Mr. Rodriguez is quite well known for his advocacy efforts for several years. This is not something that he started just yesterday. He's been doing this for several years, and he's well known, not because he makes it a point of saying who he is, but because he's advocating for students and districts. Some just like ours, some not. But he's in the forefront of some of these discussions that are being held indoors that we're not at. And so it's important that you know that this is conveyed. We can see things on screen, we can see things in conversation and talk about it, but to actually be there and see people engaged and learning from each other, that is missing, right? Seeing administrators learning from one another, that is big. So I want to just thank him for his time, Mrs. Mest for her time, the students that were able to support and be there. Along with that, October is Cancer Awareness Month, in addition to Hispanic Heritage Month, and both are huge. You can't set aside time for one and not the other. They are huge. They should be going throughout the year. There should not be a month. It should be every day of the year that we are sharing these things and these items. So I just wanted to make sure everyone takes time for themselves, that you check on loved ones, that you check yourselves. Anything that doesn't seem right, go get it checked. That's it. May be nothing, but rather err on the side of caution. Okay. As well, thank you to student board reps, the new and our senior that's here, Elizabeth. I appreciate you both, and I'm glad that you will be here, and you will be here to move this forward and do even bigger and better things. Each year it gets bigger and better, and there's more to report on. And that's a testament to what our staff is doing for our students, and our students being consistent in their behaviors and what they're choosing to do within our district. And along the lines of community engagement and bringing parents out and trying to engage them. I'm going to, again, put in your ear, the parents have spoke and want a mother, son, father, daughter event. It is the most attended event that we have. I do have a time on the schedule, November 17th for father, daughter. If the board would consider that, I will put that in your ear. And if that's okay, I will look for a spring date, but I will not move forward until you all are in good shape with it. So that would be again, November 17th, and we will just have to, as a board, talk about that collectively to make sure we're moving in the direction that we'd like to go for these events. And then I guess that's it. I appreciate the board's efforts. It's a lot of work that you put into during the week before we ever are here for our committees. And I appreciate you putting your ideas and vetting all the information that needs to be vetted along with the leads on the executive team. So that said, are there any other roundtable remarks that I've missed? Yes.
I see, I'm never ready. You said the 17th, and I was like, November 18th, Puttstown School Music, PSBA, not PSBA, PSMA is having a vendor event at the high school. It's gonna have, we have a lot of crafters, a lot of, like food options. The students are volunteering for part of their grade. So please come out and support local businesses and the music department.
And what are the times starting in?
John?
And I just put the calendar away.
I'm
It's on the
looking at all
website,
day, so
right?
I don't know the real.
It's on the
hours.
website.
Right, it's on our website and it is on our Facebook, all of our social media platforms, but it starts at 9 o'clock in the morning and it goes through to the afternoon, till 2
Excellent.
o'clock.
There you go.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Again, that's PS the May 11th,
Yeah.
18th. Please come out and support. Thank you to the crafters in advance. And so any other comments? Want to make sure? Right.
I just wanted to say tomorrow is also our pink out game. That's on the show, so that we will be taking donations. We'll be selling more shirts. For the proceeds that we get, we'll be going to the foundation, Stretch the Ride, and we'll also have a breast cancer survivor there. And we'll take pictures with them and things like that.
Excellent. Awesome. Thank you very much for that ad.
Homecoming, I'll be there.
Favorite part of Spirit Week was the students dressing like the teachers and the teachers dressing like the students. Oh, amazing.
It's not a backpack.
Anything, yeah.
That was really good.
Okay, so if there's no other comments, I would like a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any